Hello everyone, I'm making this video to give you a brief comparison between my experience with the Anthem demo and the Division 2's open beta test. The latter of which is available right now actually for another couple of days, so feel free to try it. There's a link down in the description. So this video may end up being useless, I suppose, as I can't compare the Division 2 to its predecessor since I haven't played it, and generally I'm not much into shooters. However, I don't need any of that to tell you what the big difference is for me. And it's the fact that the Division 2 provides a far smoother and just overall more pleasant gameplay experience. Most of it may be due to the fact that Anthem was, and still is, so bogged down in loading screens and just poor technical decisions. Even though in many ways it seems larger than the Division 2, you know, the world is vast, it's three-dimensional, you can run, you can fly, you can swim, you can shoot weapons that cause explosions bigger than what your screen can handle, and despite all of this, the Division 2 feels far more unrestricted. I think I can show you what I mean if I give you an example and I compare how this works in both games. Let's take the Division 2 first. Suppose you start in your base, and before you go out you want to choose some weapons and gear and whatnot, so you just open your inventory, do whatever you want to do, close it, and proceed to the exit of the base. You go out and you start roaming around, shooting and looting, and at some point you loot something nice. You can immediately compare it to the rest of your items and equip it if you wish. Then you shoot and loot some more, and you suddenly decide that you want to do a mission. So you go to wherever the mission takes place in the world, you find a team of other players, you go in and begin. But then suddenly you realize you want to switch your weapons or gear up. So you once again just go to your inventory, do whatever you want to do, hopefully your teammates do not die because you're slacking off, and then you just proceed with the mission. Then when you're done, you can simply go back to doing whatever it is you were doing before. And that's the end, you know, a fairly simple experience, nothing too special. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the only time you will experience a loading screen in this example I just gave you is when you join the group of other players before you do the mission. Okay, now let's have a look at the same example and see how it works in Anthem. So you start at your base, or the fort, you know what I mean, and you want to pick up some weapons and armor. So you walk up to the forge, wait for a quick loading screen to enter, customize your weapons and armor to your wishes, wait for a quick loading screen to exit the forge, and now you're ready to go out in the world. Well, you have to sit through a big loading screen to load the free play mode, and finally you can go wherever you please. So you start shooting and looting, and suddenly something cool drops. You want to equip it? Well, you have to go through a big loading screen out of the free play mode, then a quick loading screen into the forge, equip that item you just looted, have another quick loading screen to exit the forge, and another big loading screen to go back to free play. Now that you have your shiny new thing, you play for a bit and suddenly you want to do a mission. Very well, another big loading screen out of free play mode, a quick loading screen back to the fort, to the base. From there you look for a party, then another big loading screen, and finally you're good to start the mission. Just like before, you suddenly realize that you want to switch something up. Well, you just have to deal with it, because you know what happens if you want to switch something up. A big loading screen out of the mission, a quick loading screen into the forge, and so on and so forth. Not to mention that sometimes missions require you to go into instanced areas, I'm not sure how to call them, basically areas that also have loading screens before and after them. And so I think you're starting to get the picture of how tedious the experience of playing Anthem often is. So, I don't know if you need my advice, but I'll give it anyway. If you're looking for a story-driven experience, probably none of these games are really for you. But if you want to cooperatively shoot stuff and just have fun doing it, and especially if your time is somewhat limited, like you got a couple of hours a day to do it, unless the Division 2 has some insane issues at launch, or very consumer-unfriendly microtransactions, or simply something that I'm missing, for which I apologize, I would definitely suggest giving it a try first, at least based on my open beta experience. And this recommendation is coming from someone who does not actually intend on buying the Division 2 and already owns the deluxe edition for Anthem. Ironic, I suppose, but there you have it. Right, that was all I had for you. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know which of the two games you prefer and why. And until the next video, stay tuned and be good.
Agent deceased. An agent needs assistance.